All right, let's talk about something every single manager has struggled with: creating a leadership development plan that you actually use, instead of one that just becomes another forgotten file on your computer. We're going to build a system that actually fits into your crazy real world schedule.
I mean, does this picture look familiar? You spend all this time and energy making the perfect plan. It's ambitious, it's full of great ideas, you feel super motivated, and then, well, life happens, right? A month goes by, and you suddenly remember, oh, yeah, that document. Haven't looked at it once. Trust me, you are not alone in this.
And here's the thing, and this is so important. It's not a personal failure. It's not because you're not smart enough or motivated enough. It's a system failure. The old school way we've been taught to create these plans is just, well, it's broken. It's not designed for how we actually work. So, what are we really up against here? Let's be honest for a second about the environment these plans are even trying to survive in. Just think about your last week. I bet priorities shifted on you. Unexpected fires popped up. Meetings ran long. Your development plan can't be this delicate, fragile thing. It needs to be a tool that's built for that chaos, one that can bend and flex without breaking. Okay, so if it's not our fault, then why do these plans fail over and over again? Let's really dig in and diagnose the core problems. These five things are all connected. We get stuck focusing on reading another book instead of actually practicing a skill. We build these giant year-long plans that are just intimidating. We don't build a rhythm, so urgent stuff always wins. We act like we have endless time and energy, which just leads to burnout. And the feedback we get from our boss or team feels like it's totally separate from our goals. It's a recipe for failure. And this slide gets to the absolute heart of the problem. We confuse learning about leadership with the structured practice of leadership. Look, reading a book about how to give better feedback is not the same thing as actually practicing giving feedback in a real conversation. The real growth, the stuff that sticks, happens when you apply it in your day-to-day job. All right, enough about the problem. We get it. Now let's talk about the solution. Let's build a system that's actually designed for the real world. So the goal here isn't just to make a prettier document. We're talking about a whole new operating system for your professional growth. It needs to be flexible, grounded in what you actually do every day, and something you can stick with for the long haul. And here are the 5 big ideas that make this new system work. We're talking short, 90-day cycles, simple ways to measure progress, built-in checks to protect your time and energy, a new way to integrate learning into your work, and of course, a continuous feedback loop. Let's see how this actually works. Okay, this is the fun part. Let's get practical. I'm going to walk you through how you can start your very first development sprint, like today. First things first, forget about annual plans. They're dead. Your new rhythm, the heartbeat of this entire system, is 90 days. This is your new unit of change. So, why 90 days? It's the sweet spot. A year is way too long. Your job will change, the company's priorities will change. A week is too short to see any real progress. But 90 days, that's the perfect amount of time to run a small, focused experiment. Something like, for the next 90 days, I'm going to get better at delegating outcomes, not just tasks. You can actually see real results in that time frame. Now, this model basically flips the old way of learning on its head. 70%. The vast majority of your development comes from practicing on the job. So if you want to improve your presentation skills, the 70% isn't reading a book. It's actually building and delivering the slide deck for your next team meeting. Then 20% comes from getting feedback and support. And only 10% is that formal stuff, like a course or a book. This is the biggest mindset shift of all. Your leadership development isn't homework. It's not some extra thing you do after your real work is finished. The work is the development. The challenging project you're leading right now, that is your classroom. Okay, so you've run your first 90-day sprint. Awesome. But how do we make sure this becomes a real habit and not just a one-time thing? Let's talk about making it stick. Your 90-day sprint fits inside this simple but super powerful loop. You plan your little experiment, you go do it, you review what happened, what worked, what didn't, and then you adjust your plan for the next cycle. This makes your plan a living, breathing thing, not some static document you write once and forget. And here's how you protect your plan from the chaos of the work week. You give it a rhythm. You schedule it. A simple 15-minute check-in with yourself every Friday and a real review at the end of the 90 days. When you put it on your calendar, you're telling yourself and everyone else that this is important. And finally, and this might be the most crucial part, you have to manage your own capacity. You have to ask yourself these three simple questions. 1, is the time for this actually blocked out on my calendar? 2, am I giving it my full focus or am I distracted? And 3, is this plan actually energizing me or is it just draining me?
Let me just repeat that because it's so important. A plan that leads to your burnout is, by definition, a bad plan. Your growth and your well-being are not separate things. They have to go together. Sustainable performance is everything.
So I'll leave you with this one question. Don't try to boil the ocean. Don't think about some massive year-long transformation. Just based on what we've talked about, what is one small 90-day experiment you could start this week to practice a leadership skill you care about? Because that's where the real change begins.